Leadoff, Allie, Doug back with you. I got the perfect guy to talk about the Detroit Lions and a devastating loss tonight, especially at home on Monday Night Football, giving up 6 field goals to Justin Tucker. Dan Hasty joins us from the Lions Radio Network in Detroit. He covered the game pre, post. He actually is joining us from Ford Field. If you give us like 2 sentences on this game for the Lions, a home loss in such fashion, how would you do it?
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, the thing you always hear around Detroit guys is the term SOL. Tony Dungy's talked about it a couple of times before. And Lions fans, it's really easy to say something like that after a game the Lions really seem to have in their grasp. You know, the Lions' defense kind of maligned this year in the secondary. They seem to have everything put together tonight. They seem to limit Joe Flacco quite a bit. Didn't even get into the end zone. They kept the Ravens out all night. But even then, the Ravens were able to find a way to pull out a victory. And to do it on a 61-yard field goal just seems like everything kind of cosmically for Lions fans seemed to kind of go against the Lions. And it certainly seemed like how it ended tonight.
Dan, Detroit gave up almost 100 yards in penalties. Stafford threw it away 3 times. How are they getting by playing this kind of sloppy football?
You know what? It just seems as if the last maybe month and a half or so, they're really not getting by that well. I mean, this is a team that was 6-3, and now all of a sudden find themselves 7-7. I mean, this is a dynamic offense. They can move the ball at will, and sometimes the team's biggest enemy is themselves, and that's what happened again. We saw it in just about every game over the past maybe 6 weeks or so, save for even the Thanksgiving Day game. And if you remember that first half, Matthew Stafford had all sorts of problems getting his offense in gear throughout the first half. It wasn't really until the second half when everything seemed to click. So right now, it's kind of been a trend over the course of the year, but it's really starting to kind of bite them now and kind of working against them. And now they're not able to overcome those mistakes the way they were early in the year.
All right, so if the Packers and Bears both win this week, then the Lions are out, correct? Am I gauging this correctly? Now, it should be pointed out that the Bears play the Eagles, which is like the movable object against a resistible force. So the Bears' worst run defense in the league against Shady McCoy, and then the Eagles' worst pass defense in the league against Jay Cutler and all those receivers for the Bears. Give me your sense of the Lions, the likelihood they make the playoffs.
You know what? After a game like this, you know, for the longest time, for maybe the last couple of weeks, months, it's always been the Lions control their own destiny. And that's what you've been hearing a lot when it comes to Jim Schwartz and talking to the media. But now they're not in that position anymore. Now they're going to need some help. And you know what? The Bears are playing their best football at the right time. Mark Trestman has done a nice job over there. Despite who's back there at quarterback, they're moving the ball down the field. They're finally hitting a stride with their offense. I think that they're playing probably as good as football as anyone, especially in the NFC North. The Packers, we don't know what Aaron Rodgers' situation is, but Matt Flynn, he's certainly a surprise, I can tell you that much. But right now, from what it looks like from here, Lions are going to need a whole lot of help. And the Eagles, who didn't look all that good last week in that loss to Minnesota, you really can't seem to rely on what they're going to be from week to week. I think the Lions have their work cut out for them. Now, fortunately for them, they do get the New York Giants next week. That's a team that's really maligned, and as bad as it's been for the Lions, it's been a lot worse out there at the Meadowlands for the Giants. So the Giants in at Ford Field next week, and then you get the Vikings on the road. It could still very well come down to that final week, but right now, they've got to get a lot of help.
They do. Dan Hasty from the Lions Radio Network. I'm sure a lot to talk about in the post-game show coming up. Thanks so much for joining us here on Leadoff, Dan. We really appreciate you.
Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
I think chances are really slim for the Lions getting in. I mean, I like who they're playing. I think their schedule coming up works in their favor, but not the other teams in the division. They do have the tiebreaker over Chicago, though.
Yeah. Look, I put some of it on Stafford. I don't think he played particularly well. I put some of it on the play calling. I put some of it on Calvin Johnson, who, look, he's an incredible wide receiver, but he had 2 really big drops in this game, and he has the most drops this season of any season in his career. I guess part of it is he's being held up to a level that he set for himself because he's been such a dynamic talent.
All right, just ahead, not knowing who Colin Kaepernick was, Niners whiteout Michael Crabtree try out for the quarterback position. We'll evaluate his arm next on Leadoff.